Also, I control Europe now. I might actually win this game.
It says the opposite of what I'm just saying because you think somehow the chess game of Washington will help you get there. It's not time for any of that. And if none of them are going to say it, I am. And I think there's a point to that too. They become locked in by the system. And I think it will take, and Trent was saying that actually, it will take someone from outside, I think.
Yeah. What kind of mechanism for change do you think is necessary here beyond just the bully pulpit? Because as the president, potentially, you will have a lot of powers. What do you think some of the greatest hurdles will be in undermining or completely rewriting a neoliberal organization of the economy?
Well, first of all, every president, no matter who, is hoping for a House and Senate that is aligned with their thinking. So that will make a huge difference. But even if you don't, you do have the power of executive orders. You have the power of the appointments of heads of agencies. You can certainly get rid of the corporatists who head the agencies in too many cases, even if you can't quite bring in the problem solvers, depending on what they block and don't block. And you have the bully pulpit. And also, we all know that this needs to be an outside-inside strategy. So I think the revitalization of the labor movement, organized labor right now, is one of the biggest things going on. So one of the things they would really know that they had a partner in me, whether it has to do with beefing up the national labor.
Okay, well, we'll see if Yellow actually keeps to his deal here. But yeah, the only real solution that we have is to team up against Teal, and probably we should include, well, Brown's basically useless in this. Maybe he could provide some marginal benefit. He's going to win if we don't do something. Should we invite Brown into alliance as well?
Relations Board, whether it has to do with the PRO Act, to me, that inside-outside elements would be fortified by our presidency.
So you're interested in beefing up the NLRB and giving more power to workers so they can unionize.
Yeah,
absolutely. What do you think about the strikes that are currently going on all around us in Hollywood? I mean, you've spent.
I was on the picket line the other day.
Oh yeah, I saw. Yeah, that was great. What's your opinion on that as far as what's going on? With
well, there are two elements, and one element, of course, is the same with Starbucks. It's the same with Amazon. It's the same with the grad workers at certain schools, et cetera. And that simply has to do with how baked into the cake it is that stockholders and CEOs and their stock dividends and their stock buybacks, this profound and really immoral transfer of wealth into the hands of a very tiny few, under the canard that they would create jobs. Of course, their business model is not job creation. Their business model is job elimination and worker exploitation. So it's very fantastic. The response of the first Gilded Age was the establishment of organized labor, and the response of the second Gilded Age, which we're living in, is its repudiation. I think it's extremely important. Now, in addition to that, when I would do interviews, and before SAG-AFTRA got in, and it was just the writers, they were talking about things like a writer used to be hired to stay for the duration of the development of the script, right? And then they started doing this thing where we only need you for scene 1 and scene 3. So then that writer has to go work somewhere else to see if there's a scene 2 or scene 4 that he can work on, or she. And of course, this is also to the denigration of the product itself. So that's, first of all, just the dignity and the living wage issue and the decency, all of that. We understand all of that. But with the SAG-AFTRA thing, this is this added element of AI. I mean, it's extraordinary. You could take that they make you sign away in perpetuity your image that they could use in another movie. No, it's terrible. And I think Fran Drescher is doing a bang-up job, and I think she's making it clear. During the last campaign, Andrew Yang had written a book, The War on Normal People. And that was the first book that I read that actually I got it about the threat of AI. And I remember one of the things that he says in that book is, don't kid yourself. You might think you have a job where only you could do it. I mean, even like lawyers, they're talking about that now. Don't bother to go to law school because of all of that. So I think
Andrew Yang's solutions were, not necessarily great, in my opinion.
Definitely. That's not what I'm talking about here. Yeah. I'm just talking about the whole issue of AI. And I think, and fencing it in and realizing what a threat it represents. And not only to the issue of work, this could be bigger than that. So I think with SAG-AFTRA, particularly adding the AI issue, it's important for all of it. And I think that what people are realizing, what I hope people are realizing, people need to realize is that don't think this doesn't apply to you if you don't work at Amazon. It doesn't apply to you if you're not a writer. It doesn't apply to you if you're not a barista. It applies to all of us whose lives have become, which is the vast majority of us, whose lives are at the effect of this vulture capitalism and what it has become in this country.
Holy shit, you could upgrade your damage?
Speaking of Andrew Yang and unique.
Hold on. Hold up. Oh, man. Oh, no. Oh, no! I don't know the map that well, so I didn't realize. Oh, no. It's over. It is so over. Oh. Man, I was doing pretty well, too.
Candidates are outsiders. You yourself are an outsider.
Oh, as for the discussion on AI, fuck, dude. There's something that you hear people say all the time, which is like, oh, Well, there have been many industrial revolutions in the past and major technological changes that haven't resulted in widespread job losses. Or that did, but, well, they did rather. They did result in widespread job losses. But people found new jobs, right? That's the thing you hear people say who are skeptical of this. But I think there actually probably is something very, very different, actually. Because artificial intelligence, like, it's not just like, oh, we're going to replace the agricultural workers with factory workers. We're going to replace the factory workers with computer workers. It's not that at all. It's developing a whole new intelligence, a way of thinking that is able to do and learn on its own, and able to learn new skills, to learn new tasks, and yeah, there's no reason to think that we can just like adapt. Like, where are these new jobs that are going to be created by artificial intelligence? Like, there might be some, right? There might be some people who create new jobs, that there are new jobs created because of artificial intelligence. You could see potentially like Blade Runners hunting down rogue AIs or something. You could see human and AI like assisted jobs where humans and AIs are working on a specific task together, where they're going to modify and amplify existing jobs. You could see that, sure, and that probably will be some of it. But a lot of the jobs that go away, like, I don't see some immediate replacement for it, or even like long-term replacement for it in the AI economy, including like some jobs that I've worked in my own life. And I don't know how to think about that. I think that probably it's good, actually. I think it can be good. I think it can be very, very good. It can be liberating for humanity if we have post-scarcity or something approximating it. If we have these massive gains in productivity without having to basically pay anything for it, that this could be borderline utopian for the human race. We could have people focusing their free time not on work, but focusing their free time on things that matter to them, spending their time painting and reading and spending time with family and friends and going to church or engaging in hobbies and playing sports and doing all of the things that they love doing and that they would rather do. Like, that is like the utopian ideal. But at the same time, we live in a world where that's probably not going to happen, where where we don't even have healthcare in this country. Like, maybe some European countries and maybe some Asian countries get the balance right, and they're able to utilize AI in a way that produces great outcomes. But will the United States of America, with its extremely divided society and political structure and first past the post system and gerrymandering and corporate influence, like, that's a very, very open question. And I don't think it's guaranteed that things turn out well due to AI. I'm not sure that we were able to handle this in a very good way. JT says, I tested Google AI. She's a part of it, the corporate Illuminati. I try to write a short story. I can only write a summary. ChatGPT is pretty good. Now, ChatGPT 3 was really good. Now 4, which came out a few months ago, or a few months after GPT 3, like, that's supposed to be even more impressive. It taught itself how to draw. It was never programmed how to do that. It doesn't even know what things look like, or it's not supposed to, at least. But somehow it was able to draw, which has never been programmed into it whatsoever. And it's never been trained on images. It somehow taught itself just based on words and context clues, which is fucking weird.